Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Outed, Chapter 25. We're almost done with the book. This is probably the most important chapter. Let's begin. Jared. Mom didn't say a word all the way home. Once inside the house, she sat on the sofa, her cane beside her, and looked at the remote as if she had never seen it before. She pulled herself up and headed to the bathroom, then stopped at my room, at mine and Mitch's room. Even with all the twinkling lights off, Mitch had made it look like a showroom. He'd said that Noemi had shown him how. I'd left the condoms on the side table, next to one of the vases. Between the candles, the roses, the lights, it was obvious that this was our love nest. Mitch smiled at me. I at him. Mom noticed. "Can I get you anything?" Mitch asked Mom. Mom shook her head a little and wiped one of her eyes. "I bet it's amazing with all the candles lit and the lights." Mitch took hold of Mom's shoulders and said, "It was. You don't call me Edna no more. You call me Mom." Mom turned around and gave Mitch a hug, then pulled me into them. Mom stepped inside our room. She sat on the bed, running her hand on the comforter. "You and Jared, come here for a moment." I sat beside Mom, and Mitch stood beside me, rubbing my shoulders. "What is it?" "January," Mom said, her voice unusually quiet. I should have seen this coming. "What do you mean?" Mitch said. "Life happens fast sometimes," Mom said, choking back a sob. "I'm not going to miss out on this. I've missed out on too many things already." "It's okay, Mom," I said. "We don't blame you. You've done more for us than Donna and Bailey ever did for Mitch, and you've done it all from here." "Not from a Beam or X6, Mitch said. "Why do you say that so funny every time?" Mom said. Mitch shrugged. "That's how Bailey says it." Mom gave a small, sad smile. Her face reddened, and her eyes balled with tears. "I've never seen the Java dive, and you've been there for 2 years." Her tears spilled out, and she took my hand. "I haven't been to Harding's for at least that long. Mitch, I haven't even been to one of your belt ceremonies. Jared, we used to go to the pantry together, and look at what I've become." "They want to send me to fat camp." "It's okay. We'll help you somehow," Mitch said. "I know you will," she said. "What hurts the most is that you two are getting married, and I can't attend as I am." "We can have the services here. Clean up the backyard, rent some fancy decorations," I said. "I guess it's my turn to ask for help. Mitch, I need you to teach us how to eat, and how to be a diabetic. Maybe all 3 of us can go for a walk each night, down the drive and back." "Sure." I patted her hand. "We can work up to laps around the backyard, once we've gotten it cleaned up." "I'm not done yet." She smiled and she wiped a tear from her cheek. "My beautiful boys. My beautiful, beautiful boys. You've grown up and I've grown too fat. You two need your own space as well. Mitch, that money you want to pay for rent, I'll hold it. But only until there's enough for you and Jared to get your own place. Then I'm giving it back to you. Jared, you too. What Mitch pays, you pay. And in a few months, January even, I want you boys to move out and start your own lives." "Mom, I'm not leaving you," Jared said. "Yes, you are. I'm not staying here either. The yard is too big for one woman to take care of, so I'm kicking us all out. Consider it my wedding present, a fresh start for all of us. But," Mom said, "dinner every Sunday at my place." "We can do that," Mitch said. I pulled my phone out and checked the time. I need to get back to work. "Mitch, I'll meet you over at the Monster House later, and we'll pick up the bed and anything else," I said, standing up and kissing him. "Don't go inside until I get there. Safety in numbers and all that." "So," Mitch said, "in the next 5 months, we find a place for us, a place for you, help you get walking, get the house and yard ready to sell, and plan our ceremony. Anything else?" "Yeah," Help me get to that damned fat camp. Edna took our two hands and pulled them together. It's about time I saw where the disaster happened. Take me with you tonight. It's time I rejoin the world. Mitch. I went to the dojo that afternoon, waiting for Jared to get off work. Early, before the afternoon classes, I had time to practice with the mirror and punching bag. Lifting weights would have to wait a few weeks. Sensei Robert had changed to his gi and was bench pressing when I entered. I swear he could bench press me without even feeling it. Hi, Sensei, I said. You're early. He set the weights down, rose, and added more to the bar. Can I ask you something? I said. Kind of a serious something. Have a seat, he said, and led me to some chairs by the wall. Because of what happened, I said, staring at my feet. I don't know if you want me to work with the white and yellow belts anymore. Sensei Robert folded his arms and lowered his eyebrows, then gave a single nod as he looked at me. Do you enjoy it? I love it, I said. It keeps me in practice, and I have a lot of fun helping them. So what's the problem? He said. My dad? I had to pause because it was too painful still. Bailey beat me, and I lost. I'm not good enough to help Z and the others. That, Sensei Robert said, you are going to have to prove to me. Go change. I got into my new white gi and met Sensei Robert on the mats in front of the mirrors. We'll start with katas, then kicks, then punches. I tell you what to do, you do it. For the next half hour, we went through all the moves from white belt to yellow, green, and even blue. We went through every kick, every punch, and by the time people arrived for the class, I was sweating. Sparring, Sensei Robert said. I'll be your opponent. Sir, the cast. Think of it as an exercise in control. For the next 15 minutes, I sparred with Sensei Robert. No throws, no takedowns, just a back and forth rhythm as we practiced. By that time, everybody had arrived and changed. While they were stretching, they watched us. I understand the problem, Sensei Robert said. Sparring is different from a real fight. Besides you and me, only a couple of the brown belts or black belts have been in a fight outside the dojo. That's how it should be. But I failed, I said. Sensei Robert snorted. Do you know how many times I lost a match or a fight? I'm an ex-Marine. I've lost more fights than you've had sparring matches. It doesn't matter if you lose a fight. You simply keep coming back. That's what you did. Banged up, hell of a weekend, arm in a cast. You came back on Tuesday to train. That's what I want in a teacher. Sir? Z? I know you always have your phone. Bring it over. I don't think Mitch realized what he did. Yes, Sensei Robert, she said, and a moment later brought over his phone. Play the video from Saturday, Sensei Robert said. I had never seen the video before. Me, almost naked, running from a screaming Bailey in the rain. Then Bailey ran at me with the baseball bat. I took a breath and looked away. Don't look away, Sensei Robert said. Watch your hands. I did, then looked closer. I don't understand. Worst possible conditions for a fight. Broken glass everywhere, and a maniac with a bat. What do? Sensei Robert smiled. Something distracts you. Probably your cute little fiancé. You turn around and you block that bat, then disarm your father in one simple, flawless move. Textbook move. I didn't know, I said. That's your training taking over, Sensei Robert said, placing a hand on my shoulders. As far as I'm concerned, you won that fight. Look at the way Bailey has to run for the bat. If this had been a sparring match, he just stepped off the mat. He lost. Look at his face. He knows it too. And then he throws a tantrum as you get out of there. Your truck took one so you didn't have to. Wow, I said. Almost done, Sensei Robert said. Z, start the class with warm-ups. Mitch, come with me. I followed him back to his office. He reached into a drawer and pulled out a blue belt. I just put you through your belt test. You're a blue belt now. Mitch. Coming back to the monster house might have been a bad idea. Every time I looked at it, I saw Saturday night. A moving van took the spot next to the house, the one that usually held the Beamer X6. No sign of the Beamer. Next to the truck sat the Maserati Ghibli, and next to that, Noemi's car. With just a teeny bit of rebellion, I parked in back of the Maserati, on the precious driveway. The realtor had parked on the street. I took hold of Edna's arm and helped her slowly get out of the ugly truck. As we walked to the house, Donna came out and stared at us. She didn't move, but when she did, she ran inside and came out with a chair. "Edna," Donna said, "thank you." "I told you he's a fine boy. You needed someone to point that out to you," Edna said. "Let me sit here for a minute and catch my breath. Mr. Parker, what time is Mr. Parker going to be here?" Donna stared at Edna, then at me. Then slowly the realization sunk in. "He sent a text saying he's on his way," I said. "He's stopping to get pizza." "Good," Edna said. "I'm starving." "The movers are loading some things into the truck," Donna said. "Noemi is cleaning up the kitchen, and I want you to find out what you and Jared could use. Edna, I think we have a recliner you could use, but I don't know what to do with the canned goods and dry goods." "Edna," I said, "we could take the food." "Yes, but will it fit with the bed and the recliner?" Edna said. "Jared's bringing his car," I said. "We'll load that." I left Edna and Donna in the drive and walked for the last time into the house. Noemi had swept all the glass into a box, and the metal base of the table rested in a corner. The chair I had sat in rested by the window. The window had a long crack running down the center. Bailey's 12-pack of beer lay unopened on the counter. Next to it sat a radio playing some type of Mexican music with a dance beat. Noemi pulled out stacks of plates and silverware and lined them up on the counter. As she pulled some bowls from a cupboard, she saw me. She exclaimed something in Spanish and wrapped her arms about me. "Mi pobre hijo. When I see that man, I'm going to rip his testicles off." "Did I ever tell you that you have the nicest accent?" I said. "All the time," she said. "I am sorry, so sorry for this to have happened." "Me too," I said. "Thanks for being my mom for all those years." She humphed. Somebody had to train you so you wouldn't be as useless as your dad." That made me smile. "Let me give you a hand, and we'll take the food with us." Noemi frowned. "You should not work, not looking like this. But I need the help. Your mom wants to have the place listed on Monday." She said something in Spanish that I could not follow. Bag after bag, I took the food out to Edna. The movers helped me get the bed and recliner out, plus my old desk and lamp. The realtor took pictures of the house, the yard, and each room. I stopped by the bathroom, remembering the first skateboard incident. My bedroom, now empty, reminded me of the G-Skyer telescope that had been my pride since high school. I would replace that as soon as I could afford to. "Mitch!" Emmy yelled from the mudroom. "I need some help with some large serving dishes. They are on the top shelf and heavy." "Coming," I said. I waited for the movers to haul out a couch. As I glanced through the window, I saw Donna and Edna sitting on another couch chatting. Edna looked through the bags of canned goods. Tears painted Donna's cheeks. Pizza sure would taste good right now, and something tall and cold to drink, and someone tall and warm to kiss. I found Noemi in the mudroom, standing on a chair. She handed me one dusty large platter, then another. Donna used to decorate with these years ago. The music was loud, and it played some songs I liked. Not screamo, but not bad either. Noemi climbed off the chair and moved it to another cupboard. "Check the fridge. See if there's anything in there you want." Spoiled food in containers, a few frozen steaks, and packs of frozen vegetables. "You stay behind me, mi hijo," Noemi yelled and swore something in Spanish I didn't understand. She set her phone on the counter. "And you do not leave the kitchen." "Why?" I said. Noemi turned the radio off and reached for a large frying pan. She swore in non-stop Spanish and marched to the back door. Without the music, the noise became obvious. The beamer had returned home. Panic swept through my body. My hands trembled a little. It was just like the other night. Donna and Edna were out in the driveway, and there was no way Edna could defend herself. Neither could Donna. Noemi wouldn't do any good waving a frying pan about, not against a baseball bat. A car door closed, followed by the sound of jangling keys. The trunk opened and closed a moment later. Bailey swore and yelled, "Why are you stealing my stuff?" Jared. 3 large pies, 1 with pepperoni, 1 meat supreme, 1 Hawaiian. Can Mitch eat pizza? I ordered a 4th one with a thin, low-carb crust and bacon and onions and chicken. While I waited, I checked through my news feeds. I didn't focus very well. The taste of Mitch's mouth, the feel of his kiss, the way he let out a squeak last night, distracted me. I laughed at the memory. No woman had ever made a noise like that before. Mitch had laughed when he realized it. Somehow, I needed to figure out how to make him do that again. I loved that man. "Pizzas for Jared," the attendant said. "That's me." As I paid for the pizzas and picked up the boxes, I received a text. I took everything to my car and set the boxes in the back seat before I could check the text. A number I didn't recognize. 2 words, and it left my heart in a fury. Bailey's here. I pushed 70 all the way to the monster house. Mitch. Noemi swore in Spanish, then marched out the door, frying pan held high. Big, tough man yells at defenseless woman and beats up his own son. "I'll beat you into a..." Then she switched back into Spanish. "This has nothing to do with you," Bailey yelled. He held a golf club in his right hand. "You're fired. Get off my property." "This is not your property. It is ours," Donna said, jumping off the couch. "We've already talked about this. You've agreed to it, and I'm selling." "I'm not selling," Bailey said. "I heard your proposal, and the answer is no. I won't grant a divorce. I won't pay half of what I own. I won't pay you alimony, and I won't give up anything in this house. I want all of you off my property." "I came from my bed," I said, stepping outside. I handed Noemi her phone. The cast gave me one huge advantage. I could block the golf club. "You forgot to throw my bed out, or burn it. You owe me for everything you destroyed." "I owe you nothing. You've ruined my life. Do you know how many charges they filed against me because of you? Do you even care how much lawyer fees and court costs you cost me? I lost my job. They are serious about sending me to prison, and the lease on my car is due. I won't be able to drive anymore, and it's all because of you," Bailey screamed. "Now you are taking my house and everything I own." "It's your own damn fault," Edna said. "A bastard like you doesn't even know when he has a good wife, good son, good house, good money, and you destroyed all of them." "Shut up, Bailey. Who are you?" I stepped between Bailey and Edna. "You speak to my mom with respect." "Your mom?" Bailey said. "Bailey," Donna said, "we drove Mitch out, so he made a new family. So he can destroy that one too?" "He didn't destroy anything," Edna said from the couch. "Look at Mitch's arm and face. You did that. My beautiful boy will carry that scar forever because of what you did to him. Face facts. You destroy everything you can get your hands on." "He deserved it," Bailey yelled. I touched my cheek and felt the cut. My permanent souvenir. I had seen Bailey's moods enough over the years, and had experienced them more than anyone here. Bailey was about to flip, and I didn't want the 3 people who had been my moms to get hurt. I pulled out my wallet and pulled out the number that Lopez had tucked in there. I didn't have a phone. Neither did Edna. Noemi did. I had texted Jared on it. Noemi stood next to me with the frying pan. I handed her the number. "Noemi, call this number, and you tell whoever answers exactly what is happening." After she had taken the number, I made sure I stood between Bailey and the others. "Everybody, stay behind me." "What, so you can protect them?" Bailey sneered. "Don't do this, Bailey," I said. You're in enough trouble, caused enough trouble. Stand down. Or what? It's not raining. I'm not trapped by the table, and there is no glass for you to throw me into, I said. Walk away. I wanted a family I could be proud of, and what do I get? A gay whore of a son and a slut for a wife, Bailey screamed. Calm down, buddy, one of the movers said, standing beside me. You've had too much to drink. I am not drunk. I could almost pinpoint the moment when Bailey snapped. He half turned, got a little room, and swung the golf club at us. I pushed the mover aside, deflected the club with the cast. Edna screamed, Donna cowered on the couch, and Noemi yelled rapid-fire Spanish into her phone. Bailey stepped back so he had more room. I couldn't reach his hands to disarm him or punch him. My left arm ached a little, but not like last weekend. Knock it off, Bailey. Don't make me take you down. You can't. Bailey swung again, and I prepared to block. But I didn't have to. Jared grabbed his arm. I figured out why my fiancé didn't punch you unconscious last weekend and why he's not doing it now. You don't hit your father. Let go of me, Bailey yelled. You're not my father, Jared said. You broke Mitch's arm. I'll break yours. You are a disgrace, a coward. For a second, Bailey lowered the golf club. I kicked Bailey's hand, sent the golf club flying into the garage. Bailey shook his hand, but his eyes scowled and his brows furrowed. Bailey gut-punched Jared. My love fell. Edna screamed. He's going to regret that. I swept Bailey's feet out from under him, yelled my karate yell, and punched him so hard in the stomach that I knocked his breath out. I punched again and stopped barely above his shirt. That would have left you in the hospital with broken ribs. Then I did an almost punch to Bailey's face. He flinched as I stopped just shy of his nose. That would have shattered your nose. Another yell, so loud Sensei Robert would be proud. I threw a punch at Bailey's balls, stopping just shy of contact. That would have left you helpless for at least half an hour. You pathetic piece of crap. You stay away from my moms. You stay away from my husband. And you stay away from me. Now stand down or I will put you into the emergency room. I helped Jared stand, but not Bailey. Bailey crawled backwards trying to get away from me. I'm only a blue belt, I said. Next time I see you, I'll be a black belt. Maybe even second degree. I'll know more ways to break you into pieces, just like you did me. Don't hurt me, Bailey whimpered. He didn't. Officer Lopez walked over, his squad car blazing with red lights. His partner came with him, his gun drawn. Mr. Lassiter, why is it whenever we come out here, you hit somebody and you finally posted bail? Another assault with a deadly weapon charge, plain old aggravated assault, and threatening your family again. Judge Simpson isn't going to like this. I don't think you'll be seeing daylight for a long time. Read him his rights and pack him away.